It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're talking about another forum post today because I do think that it is a good way to kind of see what's kind of going on with the DBD community as of late. And just like I expected, just like I predicted, by the way, Dead by Daylight Survivor players are now facing a bunch of Blight mains to the point that now we're starting to see forum posts pop up about it. And this is something I predicted for a while now. I've literally said this. The further we keep going within this meta nonsense, we keep gen rushing everyone, all that's going to end up happening is we're going to see less killer players that are going to play the lower tiers. They're going to end up clicking the highest tier killers. I mean, this is to be expected. But apparently it's a shock, so that's why we want to go ahead and talk about it. So it says Dead by Blights. So it says nearly every game I had today was going against the Blight. Everyone using nearly the same builds, and they all tryharding. My teammates getting down like flies and killer humps them. Really fun experience. It is no longer matter of get good, is matter of you bring the best SWFs or suffer is not a game mode. It is a suffering experience. Blight is the killer that deserved the biggest nerf ever, more than Ghoul or any other strong killer. Now, keep in mind, like I've stated, this is expected. I've talked about this plenty of times. I've covered this many times. I've said this many times. I'm like, people are going to end up facing the same stuff over and over and over because of the fact that the meta is what it is. If you're going to keep on gen rushing killer players, they're going to end up picking characters that can keep up. And I've even made this comment before. I've said that with this game, picking an S tier isn't even to sort of win more, but it's more so to level out the playing field so that people are able to keep up with the current state of the game, because of the fact that Blight only makes it so that you can save time. Basically, it doesn't even guarantee you a win. It's saving time, because that's what makes an S tier an S tier, is the fact that they can get across the map quicker than everyone else. Kaneki in general, not even that strong of a killer on paper, not even that strong of a killer in execution. It's Legion but has a dash, so therefore it's better than Legion. Legion can sure use their ability to frenzy, but it's still slow as shit compared to dash that gets you there in half the time. You go, well, I'm gonna pick something that makes me move quicker. That's just how that works. It's just basic logic. So, of course, which I think we actually recognize the name this time. It says, yes, and the longer you loop them, the more they hump you because they absolutely loathe the fact you can outplay them, despite the game is being designed for them to win by default. So we already know the take this guy's gonna have. So, no need to really respond to it. I already understood how that's gonna go. Bro has to be trolling. This person says, I'll give you the best night of your life if you don't mind a little rank or no it's slipping in there. Shame to see matches still like this. I mean, it ain't a shame if that's what people want. You know what I mean? People want that game. That's what they want. That's what they want. So, what do you know what I mean? So, this person right here boils it down perfectly in one paragraph. It says, okay, then bring your strong SWF against a low tier killer, and surprise, you get more Blights. Blight is the best killer in the game. That is why people use him. Unlike when people run perks like Sprint Burst, Lie, Dead Hard Vigil, Windows, just hard meta survivor perks, and a low tier killer goes against that, you probably go, this is not fun. Yet here we are at a point that in order to beat a good meta SWF, need to play a strong killer like Blight and also running the meta. Which is exactly what I've been covering as a Ghostface main. At this point, I mean, it goes without saying. I've talked about this plenty of times. We see this plenty of times on streams and things like that. This is just what we expect from these people. This is what we expect from this game. And it's not enjoyable. You know what I mean? People can have fun with this game. People can continue to do that. And more power to them. But as for someone like myself, who unfortunately has only really cared about, winning, and has only cared about improving at my characters, it gets to a point where it's like your character just simply is not at the same level of brain dead survivor perk, press button and go, versus I have to be locked in the whole entire match in order to just get a tie at the end of the day. It's again, that's a waste of your own time and energy. No reason for anyone to waste all their time and energy getting stressed out. Seems like a waste. All right, so they say if you want killers with a power level comparable to Blight getting toned down, you would have to accept a reduction of power on the other side. Perks like sprint bursts don't have a justification for being as strong as they are without S tiers being around. Now, what I find really funny is that we have perks that are supposedly so strong to counteract the S tiers, but ironically enough, these perks do nothing against the S tiers because the S tiers move fast. So what is sprint burst, lithe, or any of these perks gonna do against a Kaneki, a Blight, when they can just speed right up to you anyway? So it literally is pointless to run those things. So at the end of the day, the only thing you're really doing is kicking all the low tiers and the mid tiers in the nuts, and then just like, oh, because I'm gonna go against Blight, and it's like, but Blight doesn't even care about your exhaustion. Like, the only, I think, genuine perk that would probably work against a Blight, maybe Smash It, like, because if you stun him, you'll get the speed boost, so you'll make like double the distance or something, like maybe. That's all I can think of, really. I mean, if we're talking about exhaustion perks. As for BM, there's nothing that can be done about that. Overly toxic comp players will always exist, from BMing Blights to teabagging aces, just the nature of a PvP game. I agree with that. This person says every other killer gets bullied by endless flashlights and pallets, and Nurses is currently insufferable because of bugs. It's the survival of the fittest. All of the killers went extinct, and the Blight population is the only one that can adapt to the highly acidic, swift-ridden environment. Yeah, I mean, they knock it right out the park with that description. These people are extremely capable of describing everything that's going on with this game as a whole. And it's like, what did you expect? Like, you decided to praise the fact that you're getting characters like the recent chapter we had gotten from with V, giving these skill check bonuses and giving you ghost notes, with 1, 2, 3, 4 and ghost notes, boosting up your meta, right? You praised it, you're excited, you're happy, you're clapping like seals because you got more buffs to your meta. So then why is it a shock that all of a sudden now people are gonna respond? They're like, well, fuck the F tiers, you know, I'm not gonna play Skull Merchant. Oh, I'm not gonna play Spring Trap. I'm just gonna sit here and play Blight. Like, I'm gonna play Kaneki. Why not? Like, what incentive do you have not to do that? It's like, come on now. People want to play killer because it's supposed to be fun and the power roll. And the fun factor ain't there with most of the F tiers like Ghostface, Skull Merchant. The C tiers are struggling, the B tiers are struggling, the A tiers are starting to struggle. All that's left is S. Like, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? This person says, what happens when behaviors and net from Bureau game balance and the community supports it? The game is geared towards SWFs and S tier killers. Nothing else is really viable. If you want to have fun matches that aren't filled with the most toxic slop imaginable, yeah, I wouldn't blame the people who play the S tier, because otherwise they just get held hostage in toxic matches. Those Blights make it their personal goal to slug out a 4K at 5 that have clearly been put through hell to the point against SWFs. I don't blame the SWF because solo queue is completely non-viable, especially with the backtracking of any actual health patches and the removal of going next. I disagree with that last section, but you had it going for the rest. All you have to do is take out this bullshit ass end and you're good to go. You know what I mean? It's what happens when a game has a selfish community that wants everything nerfed besides whatever they like to personally abuse, combined with devs who can't balance a thing. Yes, Blight should be nerfed, but that's one less killer that can compete with Swift, so really Swift needs to be rebalanced so the top killers get rebalanced, then solo queue M1s need to be rebalanced. Maps also need a hell of a rebalance. They can be split into RNG categories based off killer. So the one thing we have to keep in mind is that behavior is not going to do anything to Survivor. Like, they just won't. They will never nerf Survivor. They can't do that because that's going to anger the only people funding their game. So at the end of the day, because the killer players are ignored and second-class citizens in the game, the only thing they can do is go, well, we're going to nerf everyone else except Blight, so we can keep some players on the killer side, and then we're going to say fuck everyone else, and then on top of that, we're also going to keep buffing Survivor as well, just so we can keep that going and continue to get funds so that they can become a publisher instead of a game dev. That's their game plan. And unfortunately, because of that, not everybody is happy with that, including myself, including other people who are moving on from this game. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not blinded by this game. I don't have any ties to this game in that sense. That I don't love this game, because this game isn't kind. You know, this game is not kind to you if you're not playing the strongest characters. It's not kind to you, especially as a community. There's a lot of gaslighting that goes on. There's a lot of lack of accountability. There's a lot of fence sitting that goes on with a lot of big creators, stuff like that. So like, there's just a lot of stuff that really does not speak to a lot of people, and I think that's a given from what I understand. And then this person agrees. True words never been said on this thread, at least. Once again, the core problem is the SWF omnipotence. SWFs annihilate every killer and make them suffer through endless stuns, saves, tanks, and revives, which is 100% true. Those killers switch to S tier, let their steam off on an unfortunate solo queue in the next game, and then those quit playing solo queue and join killer or SWF, and the cycle repeats. The only ones who have it easy here are the SWFs, and the devs never dare to nerf SWFs with their majority of the player base and the loudest on every medium. They're also the majority of the forum, so any anti-SWF opinion is downvoted in an instant. So this game will be an eternal battle between toxic SWFs and karmic blights, the M1 killers and solo queue players being the collateral damage. There has never been a better summary for that. I mean, this is exactly what I've been saying. This is exactly accurate to what I'm thinking, right? Because like I've said, and I'm glad somebody admits it, the majority of the player base are SWF. Adoy, but there's people out here that will try to gaslight you and say that that's not true. At the end of the day, mind you, by the way, even more so than that, we already have shown data from Behavior themselves that they've shown that Japanese players in solo queue and SWF are escaping at a 46% escape rate, both solo queue and SWFs. So not only is the SWF like a majority of the player base in the majority of the world, but also SWF and solo queue in Japan are at the same exact escape rate, therefore showing that it's a skill issue on these people's end. It's like, what else is there to say? You know what I mean? So this person says, I don't mind Blight depending on the build. Crouch tech still exists, makes him versing him a lot more bearable, to be fair. Which I think is, I think that's in my opinion, a bug, but whatever. A thing I don't notice, I notice is how a ton of Blights play the exact same, so it's kind of easy to predict what they're going to do. That's how I ended up getting better at versing them. You just got to prepare your next move more carefully. So I'm glad a Survivor main is at least offering, like at least a good take to go, maybe you should look into getting better at the game. They say, I'd rather verse Blight 1,000 times than verse Ghoul at all. A good Blight's very annoying, but at least you got to put some effort into playing Blight. Ghoul equals free kills with little effort required. And that's why I started off by saying Survivor main, because they always have like a dumbass like take at the end with no logic or reason. And that's the unfortunate aspect when it comes to reading this forum, or even trying to to read out or even acknowledge some of the stuff that gets said, because a lot of people have this like a lot of dumb shit they tackle, like they kind of staple onto pretty good takes, and it's unfortunate, but as it is what it is. So this person says, yes, Blight is a bit overused and a bit too strong. We all know it. Those of us in the forum, main killers, main survivors, devs, everyone. Which I will not say that overused. No, I would say that this is just simply a response to what the meta is, what the survivors have been giving, what the survivors have wanted. So this is, to me, from my perspective, the answer to that. I mean, that's just how it goes. Right? If there was a healing meta, there would be a bunch of anti-heal perks becoming meta as a response. This is just the reality of a game. Like, that's how it works. A bit too strong? Not at all. I think they're in the perfect spot they need to be because of how the state of the game is for Survivor at this current point. I think that they're perfectly fine. In my opinion, because at the end of the day, what is the response, right? Like, in order to compete, I would say, at that level. The second you remove Blight from the equation, there are no more options beyond just Kaneki at that point, right? Then that becomes the next villain. Then that gets changed again, and then what's left, right? Nurse is bugged. So that would pretty much, I would say, might take away all the people who want to play the game at all. At least from what I can understand. I think it's just like, it's a scorched earth response. It's not worth it. They say, we all know it. Those of us in the forum, main killers, oh yeah. There must be a reason to why they don't want to nerf him. I imagine that unlike Nurse, he attracts many new players willing to learn his mechanics. On YouTube, you find a ton of videos specifically about this killer and killing win streaks, tutorials, specific text, videos with advice to survivors on how to counter him. All killers have this kind of video, but Blight is really on another level. I personally have not seen that, but I'm also just not looking up Blight. Like, so you know, I don't know. Like, maybe there is. I wouldn't be able to tell you. And then of course he got another thing that we don't need. It says, we need an option to ban certain killers. Like, stop it, bro. At that point, you won't find a single match. You know what I mean? Because what do you want? Oh, I don't want to face this killer anymore. Then don't play the game. Like, there's plenty of beautiful games out there that you could play that are way more fun than this game. Like, you can have so many out there. You can make wonderful experiences and memories with other games that are way more enjoyable and way more worth your time than with this game that the devs can give a rat's ass if you're having fun or not. Like, they don't care. Let's read this nonsense. They say Blight is the DBD golden child and it has huge support in form of dev survivors and killer players, and his cult of mains and enjoyers is very wide. But what do you mean by huge support? Like, he doesn't really get changed or like whether positively or negatively. And no, Blight, before I continue, this bullshit ass, oh, it should be 4.4 and lose 3 tokens. Shut up. Like, okay, so then they should make exhaustions last for 120 seconds and the haste is only 15%. Duh. Like, let's all make stupid responses. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway. Very wide. He says to nerf like other killers. Busted add-ons lasted in game for too long with his hug tech. But I mean, that was long ass time ago, bro. That was a long ass time ago. Like, what the hell? Comp claimed to be the best in the game after all the nerfs. This shows Blight is on a different meter. Ghoul got nerfed faster than anyone thinks. Chucky got beaten with the nerf hammer. Krasu, same as Ghoul, and Blight still rules the data. All the killers are treated differently. I guess. I'm not for over nerfing Blight because he should be a stronger killer due to his uniqueness and skill requirement. He is fun to play, but at the state he is now is pretty funny. Some people see Ghoul at the heart of all problems, but sweat and lights will always out preform Ghouls, and in comp the time Blight takes in is like 2 times or 3 shorter than Ghouls, I guess. And thank you, somebody said it right here. The main difference between Ghoul and Blight is that it takes mastery to perform well as Blight. Otherwise, you're an M1 killer who can't hit anyone with his power and forced to eat every pallet. And then, of course, they staple on the stupid ass, oh, Ghoul is easy. Even someone who just started playing DBD can 4K with Ghoul, eating with one hand and watching Netflix on the second screen. It's like, buddy, everyone can do that with any killer, because if you start the game brand new, you're going against people who also are brand new. That's how MMR works. Like, these. Yeah, so I just want to go ahead and end it off there. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe to all the YouTube things, man. Consider supporting with becoming a member on YouTube or Patreon to have access to exclusive content you're not going to see anywhere else. And leave a comment or a like and all that other stuff. And, you know, let me know your thoughts. See you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for the members at the end of the video. I wanted to go ahead and thank all my members from Patreon, Crow King 101, YouTube members, Majora Jeff, T.O.N. Dyer, Zero Mocker, Christian, Crow Vader, Noxus, Jack, Dole, a whip. Let's go. Twitch. We also have Cake, Danica, Final Girl Bunny, Zero Mocker, Ginsburg, Zaz, Crow, PB Head, Mr. Mork, and Dole as well. I appreciate all you guys for supporting, and I will see you guys. If you want to become a member, go ahead and join, and I'll see you guys in the next one.